Tally ho, my freaky little darlings, Mondo here, and today and every day, every week of October, we're going to be talking about some of the greatest monsters that are out there because it's Halloween month. Why else wouldn't we? So, let us start with our first monster. It's going to be Adam. Some smart people out there will know that I'm actually talking about the monster that I'm actually talking about is Frankenstein, who was created by Victor von Frankenstein. He's very commonly and wrongly referred to as Frankenstein. Because in the book, which was wrote by Mary Shelley in 1880, she never actually gave him a name. She never referred to him by a name. The monster never calls himself a name. It was just in later adaptations they decided to give him a name. But Victor von Frankenstein himself called the monster a monster, an ogre, a wretch, a demon, all these different things, but never actually gave it a name. As I said, in later adaptations of the book itself, as 90% of people haven't actually read the book, they've probably seen a film or a play or a TV show where Frankenstein's monster appears. There's been quite a lot of them, but I won't go into a whole summary of the book. I'll give you a main rundown. Basically, Victor tries to cheat death by creating life itself out of dead pieces, makes a body, comes to life, and it goes all to hell. And so the thing with the book is it's a very good book, very long as well. I think it was about that big. That big. It's a long book. Films are a bit easier, but in the films, the appearance of the monster itself changes from adaptation to adaptation. So I decided to give you a rundown of what Mary Shelley herself described the monster as in her book. And she described him as 8 feet tall. That's 2.5 meters for any Americans out there. I'm 6 foot. That's another 2 foot taller than me. I'm not standing up because, well, I'd look stupid trying to talk into a camera standing up when I've got a perfectly good chair. He was also hideously ugly with translucent. Sorry, my English is a bit naff today. A yellowish skin that was pulled taut, which is very tight over the body. He had watery glowing eyes, flowing black hair and black lips with very white teeth. Sounds like a goth. But that's what Mary Shelley described him as. But the most common, if you were to type in to Google Frankenstein's monster, the most common image and the most famous image that will pop up is of Boris Karloff. Karloff? I can't even say his last name. From the 1931 film adaptation Frankenstein. He did do later 2 more films as Frankenstein's monster. He's the most famous one. There have been many portrayals of the monster as early as 1910. So if the book was wrote in 1818, people are 100 years, 90 years even, into the future of that book being published, are starting to make adaptations of it and plays and films. Well, obviously not in 1910, they weren't doing films. I think the first film was 1931 by Boris Karloff. Up to right recently, really, with Penny Dreadful, with Victor von Frankenstein being in there, and Frankenstein's monster, who actually calls himself Adam. And coming up next year, you've got another Frankenstein film, which is going to star Daniel Radcliffe as Igor, and his name's going to escape me. Charles Xavier. His name's escaped me. Playing as Victor von Frankenstein himself. And people that are knowing me watching this are probably going, I haven't done something. And that's because one of the best films you can watch out there to do with Frankenstein is Young Frankenstein. If you get a chance to watch it, watch it. It's a very funny film. It's directed by Mel Brooks. Very funny film, and it's got Gene Wilder in it. Gene Wilder is more famously known as the Willy Wonka of the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory film. It's a very good film, and he plays Victor von Frankenstein, or sorry, Frankenstein. Doesn't like Frankenstein, Frankenstein, who then later becomes Frankenstein because he does create the monster. But it's just how it's a funnier adaptation of the book and the films. If you get a chance to watch it, watch it. It's a very good film, and it would make Halloween not a lot scarier and make it a bit funnier. I will warn you, it is in black and white. Well, that's all I've got time for this monster, but check in next week, and I'll be covering another great monster. So until then, remember, be good, and if you can't be good, don't get caught. Bye.